Elon Musk just said that the Twitter deal is on pause until he can figure out what the true number of spam users are on the platform. And Twitter CEO responds by fighting back and saying that the absolute number of spam bots on the platform is generally less than 5%. So now you have Elon Musk saying one thing, Twitter CEO saying another thing, and you have at least some independent verification companies siding with Elon Musk, which of course is the reason why I believe Twitter's share price continues to decline. And I truly believe that most investors out there do not think that this deal is going to get done, at least not at the $54.20 deal price originally agreed to. That's what we're going to cover in this video. So smash that like button and subscribe if you're new. You're watching More Money. Let's get it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel where the goal here is to help at least 1,000 people achieve financial independence much sooner. And let's dive right into it. You can see here that the Wall Street Journal reported today that Elon Musk says that the Twitter deal cannot move forward without clarity on fake accounts. And those comments added to questions whether he's even committed to concluding this $44 billion deal that he committed to earlier in the month. And if you guys missed any of this stuff, no problem. I don't blame you because a lot of this stuff was coming out during the weekend when the weather was really nice, especially on the eastern coast here. And so you're better off having a life instead of being a nerd like myself who is at home following this stuff. And so for those of you who have missed it, this is how it started. You can see here, Elon Musk said that the Twitter's legal team told him that he violated an NDA because they accused him of violating the non-disclosure agreement by revealing that a sample size for the social media's platform checks on automated user was 100. And they go on in this article to say that when a user asked Musk to elaborate on a process of filtering bot accounts, he replied, "I picked 100 as a sample size number because that is what Twitter uses to calculate less than 5% fake spam or duplicate accounts." And so I went onto the internet to find this Twitter thread, and you can see here that Elon Musk actually tweeted out that his team will do a random sample of 100 followers of Twitter, and he invites other people to repeat the same process as if he already doesn't know what the results are. Let's not pretend like Elon Musk is doing this in real time, but I understand why he's pretending to do this in real time. And so this is the tweet that the article referred to. A gentleman asked, "Elon, can you elaborate a bit on the process?" And he said, "I picked 100 as a sample size number because that's what Twitter used to calculate their less than 5% fake spam and duplicate accounts." And so here's an interesting response to the thread. Finwit replied, "You don't think about this before offering $44 billion to buy a company?" And Elon Musk replied and he said, "I relied on the accuracy of Twitter's public filings." Now, here's a very important point. He should be relying on the accuracy of their reportings. Key performance indicators such as the number of daily or monthly active users is absolutely important. And I, as a former auditor, would expect that the audit committees would be looking at something like this. I would also expect that Twitter would have significant amounts of backup for these claims as these things move share prices. So it is absolutely reasonable for Elon Musk to rely on the public filings. And if he requests those public filings to support those numbers, they should be able to provide those to him privately. And so here's what Elon Musk came back with a few days later. 20% fake spam accounts, while 4 times higher what Twitter claims could be much higher. My offer was based on Twitter's SEC filings being accurate. Yesterday's Twitter CEO publicly refused to show proof of that less than 5%. This deal cannot move forward until he does. So he's effectively jammed up this process. So now I don't know what happens, but this could be stuck in limbo for a long time. And this is why the share price has declined to the point where I don't think people think that this is going to get done in 2022. I don't think people think it's going to get done in 2023, if at all. Now, here's why I think this is a more important and a bigger deal than it seems on the surface. You can see here, I actually pulled this from their annual report. This is why this is a bigger deal than you think. I would be shocked if PwC does not have audit files regarding Twitter's measurement of their daily active user base, as this is a very key performance indicator and thus high audit risk disclosure, which moves the share price. And you can see here that PwC did say that the effectiveness of the company's internal control over his financial reporting process, and their financial reporting process would also include the reporting of their key performance indicators. Don't get that twisted. As of December 31st, 2021, has been audited by PricewaterhouseCoopers, an independent registered public accounting firm, as stated in the report which appears herein. So I would be very surprised if PwC did not do any work over those daily active and monthly active users, as these are disclosures not just on their financial statements, but also on their management discussion analysis, which is something that the audit firms do review. I understand that the extent that you could hold the audit firms liable could potentially be very limited. However, once again, it would be very surprising to me if PwC, at the very minimum, did not review the documentation that supports the number of real users on the platform. So you see what I mean when I say that this could potentially be a bigger issue than we're actually thinking about right now. Now, their CEO actually came out and put out a set of tweets to address Elon Musk's concerns. So you can see here, he stated that we suspend over 500,000 spam accounts every day, usually before any of you ever even see them on Twitter. Some of the spam accounts, which are actually the most dangerous and cause the most harm to our users, can look totally legitimate on the surface. Now, he does say that, look, they don't catch everything because they have to balance the approach, because none of us want to solve a CAPTCHA every time we use Twitter. But now, if there's allegations suggesting that at least 20%, if not more, are fake users, we might have to rethink how we authenticate users as they go onto Twitter, because this could be a real issue for advertisers going forward. He continued by saying that we have estimated that less than 5% of our reported monthly daily active users for the quarter are spam accounts. And now here's the key point, or the key tweet, I would say. Our estimate is based on multiple human reviews in replicate of thousands of accounts. So not the 100 that essentially Elon Musk was alleging. It's thousands of accounts that are sampled at random, consistently over time, from accounts we count as monthly daily active users. We do this every quarter, and we have been doing this for many years. So this is the key point, I believe. Evidence is available, which can be privately shared with Elon Musk. I also believe that it's this type of evidence that is shared with the audit committee in order to substantiate those key performance indicators. Now, Parag goes on to say that our internal estimates for the last 4 quarters were all well under 5% based on the methodology outlined above. The error margins on our estimates gives us confidence in our public statements each quarter. Once again, they have backup for their tests. Also, their monthly daily active users is a key data point which the auditors would have for sure examined each quarter. Now, guys, let me just pull back for a second. I actually noticed that I was doing this as I was recording the video. I kept calling that MDAU as a monthly daily active user. In fact, it's actually referred to as monetizable daily active user. So those are the number of users that they can serve ads to profitably. So they're not going to serve ads to any of their fake accounts. And that's why this measurement is so important for advertisers. Now, guys, note what Elon Musk said to Parag's tweets. He just replied back with a poop emoji, basically saying, "You're talking smack." And then he replied with, "So how do advertisers know what they're getting for their money? This is fundamental to the financial health of Twitter." And then an independent reporter replied, "Dear Parag, I'm surprised that you say external researchers couldn't estimate bots. That's not true. As a researcher that worked for approximately 9 years on these topics, I'm the author of one of the first independent reports about Twitter bots. I can say that it's possible. By the way, open your data," which is exactly what Elon Musk was saying as well. I don't think they can open their data, to be honest, because there'd probably be too much private information there. I don't know, but I don't think it's likely that they will. And then Elon Musk went on to say, "Seems like Twitter should welcome external validation if their claims are true." And I would suspect that external auditors have reviewed these KPIs already. So that's sort of my position there. I would be surprised if the external auditors didn't look at this. And so here's Elon Musk talking about this in a recent conference that happened, I think, today.
Said another way, the number of real unique humans that you see making comments on a daily basis on Twitter is above 95%. That is what they're claiming. Does anyone have that experience?
I mean,
really? Listen, there's a bridge I'd like to sell you. There you go. and also you can buy the Brooklyn Bridge.
So by that laughter, it seems like everybody kind of gets the joke that I think it's well understood that Twitter probably has greater than 5% spam bots. Look, I don't know. I deleted my Twitter account 6 years ago because I felt like it was way too much of a suck of my time. Now, The Independent did their own research, and you can see here, they stated that more than half of Elon Musk's Twitter followers appear to be fake. Now, just to be clear, just because one account like Elon Musk's has more than 50% or allegedly more than 50% of fake users doesn't necessarily mean that the whole platform has more than 5% of fake users. So I just want to make that clear there. But going into it, you can see that The Independent concluded that 53.3% of Elon Musk's followers are fake. And they said that accounts with similar sized following to Elon Musk have a median of 41% fake followers. So that's actually kind of crazy. They have essentially verified that they have looked at other large accounts and they also have substantial amounts of fake users. So there's something very interesting going on here. But what does all of this mean? Well, the Wall Street Journal summarized it very well. They can say that Mr. Musk's insistence on the issue of fake accounts has raised speculation that he may try to renegotiate or walk away from the purchase. But note, guys, that he's already signed an agreement and waived detailed due diligence on the deal. Mr. Musk and Twitter would each owe the other $1 billion if either one of them walk away from the deal in circumstances. However, they could renegotiate on that. So there is a way out of this for both of them. Now, a market research firm, Spark Toro, says its analysis of a representative sample of active Twitter accounts found that 19% fit what it calls a conservative definition of fake or spam accounts, which is all accounts that don't regularly have a human composing their tweets. So now you have an allegedly reputable market research firm saying that Twitter has greater than 5% spam or fake accounts. Now, based on the information that's being provided, I actually think that this is more of now becoming a negotiating tactic. I think Elon Musk still wants to own Twitter, but he wants to pay less of a price. So you can see here, Elon Musk says that the Twitter deal at a lower price is not out of the question. So the end game for him could be to call into question that 5% that's being stated by Twitter and then reduce the value that he's willing to pay for Twitter. And Twitter doesn't really have a leg to stand on because nobody else wants to buy Twitter. They had no other buyers and they still haven't had any other buyers. And so what does the market think of all of this? Well, you can see here, the decline does suggest that the market has really lost confidence in the deal being done, at least at the stated price of $54.20 per share, if it's going to be done at all. Now, personally, I've decided that this is too hard of a deal to determine whether it's going to happen or not. So I'm happy to just stand on the sidelines and watch this craziness play out because this is the craziest thing I've seen in a long time. And in addition to that, you guys got to understand that there's a lot of turmoil happening behind the scenes. You can see here, Twitter is losing employees. They've just lost 3 more senior employees ahead of the Musk takeover. So they lost 2 VPs, the VP of Product Management and the VP of Twitter Service, and they lost their head of data science. Now, look, here's the thing. I actually work in tech. In the tech space, it is incredibly hard to hire good people. So if you start bleeding people like Twitter is right now, it's going to become even harder to run the business. So this is another risk that a lot of people aren't calling out. So if this company gets purchased and taken private, they're going to have a lot of work cut out ahead of them to address the workload that is left by these people who have left the firm. So what that means is if this deal falls apart, I actually don't think my Twitter valuation holds anymore. However, if you want to, you can access my Twitter by accessing the Patreon at that $5 level. And although I'm not going to be playing in this type of arbitrage opportunity, there's another one that I actually did buy into, which is the Activision arbitrage opportunity. You can actually get to that Activision model with the subscription into the Patreon. And you can even review Microsoft's model because we have both models for Activision and Microsoft built. And you can get access to that all at that $5 a month tier. And once again, like like I always say, guys, if you are not satisfied after you subscribed within the first 30 days, just let me know and I'll completely refund your money at the end of the first month. No questions asked. But what I love about the Patreons that have joined so far is that we actually have a greater than 100% retention rate as more of you decide to upgrade as opposed to canceling. So that's really good. But also the other thing that I want to point out is that Walmart shares actually dropped close to 12% today. And so I actually did a video on that covering exactly what's happening. They're getting bit by inflation, which a lot of people thought Walmart might be a little bit shielded against inflation. Well, we're seeing that's not the case. And you can see that video right here.